mentioned too, in the way that even in the medical field, how things are being done. You know what I mean? Exploding gold nanotubes to destroy cancer these days.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a cure now because everyone's looking in a more ascended view, not an evolved, because an evolved means I could just be on a crab planet, and next thing you know, I will evolve. Maybe just if I eventually reincarnate, and maybe I will be the lucky one to evolve to have a crab hand or something like that. I don't know, but basically getting down to it, technology and things like that is a nice scientific gauge, I guess you'd say, to let you know exactly how far we have come mentally and spiritually to be able to accept the next steps.
Wow, crazy. Bon, what's your take on that?
You know, in a way, it's kind of interesting. Don mentioned evolution versus ascension, and that's an interesting dichotomy to play with because, in a way, as you ascend, you become less evolved in the sense of fitting into your environment.
Right.
You know, if you're running around the Serengeti in a loincloth, you're very evolved. You know, you might be very, very adapted to your environment. And
people take the word evolution as just a little too positive. It's actually kind of almost the opposite.
Right. As you become more conscious of things beyond just, a mundane level, actually,
you're adapting.
You're probably becoming less adapted in, to what's here in the sense of, it's a strange.
You're looking at strings.
Yeah, you're looking what's behind the curtain, so to speak. It's like the Wizard of Oz, where you have the big green head. I am the mighty and powerful Oz. And there's a little guy behind the curtain operating all the machinery. And when you cross over into this different awareness, you see what's going on behind the scenes. You're not in awe of the big green head. And maybe that's a good kind of lesson for what we're talking about religion and whatever. Is that there are many people that are still in awe of the big green head, and there are those of us that kick around in the gears and we see the little mustached man holding the levers, and we know what's behind it.
It's almost kind of like what Don was saying. Evolution could be it's a trippy word, but that evolution word can go many different ways and stuff like that. When it comes to human beings, even animals or anything, the surroundings, the earth, and everything else, things change and everything. Yeah, I can go live in Hungary and adapt to the customs of the Hungarians. That sort of thing, and everything else and stuff. It can mean many different ways and stuff like that. But as a human being and everything, when you're talking about evolution, what's going to be the next step? Let's ask Don really quick. What do you think is going to be the next step? I mean, is it going to be?
Well, I feel that I hope that the world eventually really gets together and starts going towards things like the electric vehicles and other things, because there is scientific data that the world is going to be ending. Really quick soon, everyone, unless you do something about it. No, seriously. Because what's happening is everyone's going to be, whoever wants to ascend or go past that evolution point towards, if they're trying to be a purist, those people who will be less able to adapt to the new environment, the people who would actually who have purified themselves, in other words, more towards a spiritual existence, are going to have a much harder time to be able to do it, due to, when they have purified themselves to be able to enlighten themselves physically in a cleanliness form, they'll be more susceptible to, I guess you'd say, the toxins and such, you know what I mean?
Crazy.
It's pretty horrible.
yeah. Okay, Bon, wrap it up really quick. This is the last one, Bon. What's your take?
I think the next big phase, if we make it, is the understanding of multidimensional physics and being able to utilize technologies that go beyond what at one time would have been thought physics and metaphysics. The crossover from one to the other, where we will actually, with the awareness of multiple dimensions and countless realities, being able to utilize things that at one time, to our view, would seem mystical or magical, and having actual technologies.
Well, now there's a blending in the world right now. If you were to go to gizmag.com, so I'm giving a shout out to them, whether they know or not, go there. It's one of my most favorite sites, and they've got the bionic eye that has 98 pixels.
Wow.
They literally figured out, how to take this technology and embed it into your head or into your eye, floating in there, to give electronic signals, into your medulla so you can actually see it as a sight sensory at 98 pixels. Pretty soon they're going to go to 1,000. Pretty soon they're going to go even more. They're actually developing this technology to be able to implant in people to where they can actually have a super sight or a heads-up display. So you can imagine where spirituality is going to take sort of like the cyber thing, as if when you were looking in one of those, Dungeon and Dragon books back in the days where someone was kind of using, what was that, the cyber magic kind of thing. Well, that's going to be a reality, I would say, within 5 years.
Wow, crazy. All right, guys, we're out of time. I want to thank you guys for being on the VM Underground show. I want to thank everybody for tuning in as well, too. Don, Henry, thank you so much. And Bon, do you have a website as well, too, at all? So they can
not one currently. Probably if somebody wanted to email me, they could go on MySpace. I believe my moniker there is BlackSun444. But,
or you can get them on my site.
Yeah. But it's easy enough to find. Just look for Bon Necron on MySpace and me as a friend. And I'm also on TVD.
Oh, awesome, great. TheVampireDon.com. Go ahead and check it out. And I want to thank everybody in the chat room. We'll be in the chat room right after the show. We got to wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for being on the VM Underground show. Kick it off with Getting Deep. We'll be back with the rest tomorrow.
Love you guys.
Yes, we all love you. And hope everyone had a great Easter and everything else and stuff like that. And that earthquake was a rumble. There you go. And again, whatever you believe, whatever that sort of thing. And I think it's really actually pretty cool due to the fact that if you believe in Christianity or whatever, that sort of thing, when Christ rose from the dead, there was an earthquake. I thought I'd throw that in there for you. Getting Deep. Be back with the rest of you. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Later.